What up, y'all? It's your boy Penny LS1 checking in. Feel like I need to holler at y'all for a minute. So as y'all see, I'm working on this air conditioning HVAC system on miniskirt. Ran into a few issues, doing a bunch of research, I'm finding some solutions, but also I'm getting mixed information. So I'm trying to go by the book and hook my AC up safe. Try to integrate the factory stuff with the LS computer. So the last post that I put on IG on my story, when I said I found it. So I found that wiring schematic on MalibuRacing.com. I know a lot of y'all are familiar with that website. I've heard about it, but this is actually my first time using it. So what I was mentioning earlier today was about the two green wires. Those green wires don't get 12 volt constantly all the time. Only one of them does. If you pull your AC controls out of the dash, you look on the back of where that switch is, there's a green wire. I believe that's the light green wire. Because when you turn it on AC, when you probe that wire in the engine bay, it's 12 volts. When you probe the dark green wire, I was getting like 0 points, less than 1 volt basically. And somebody else had said that too, that they were getting less than 1 volt. So, hold on, this truck's gonna pull out. So anyway, I'm going to get lunch. I turned the heater on in the garage. It's 28 degrees outside right now. It was 45 in the garage when I left. If I can get it up to about 60 degrees by this evening, I'll go out there and fool with it and give y'all an update. I'm gonna rewire everything, but if not, man, we got to wait till it get at least 60 something degrees, because it's, like I said, it's 28 outside right now and it was 45 in the garage. But anyway, so back to the green wires. So from the factory harness, that green wire runs from the AC switch. It goes directly to the pressure switch that's mounted on the accumulator. Because on my accumulator, I've got 3 green wires coming off that pigtail. 2 light green that are basically on the same terminal, and then that 1 dark green on the opposite terminal. So how I understand this thing is how it's supposed to work. Power comes into that switch, right? It doesn't go directly to the compressor. Because if it goes directly to the compressor is going to turn on whether it has the proper pressure or not. That's the key. So 12 volts goes directly to that pressure switch. If that switch is functioning properly, it's going to read the pressure as long as it's within the recommended pressure, meaning it's not too low or it's not too high. It'll connect those 2 spades and send 12 volts out to that green wire. Okay, so as long as the pressure switch is reading the recommended pressure within the range specified, meaning it's not too low, not too high, it'll connect those spades. Because like I say, the light green side is hot. The dark green side is not connected. But once the switch recognizes it's got proper pressure, it's going to connect those 2 spades internally, therefore sending 12 volts. What the hell are you doing? Therefore sending 12 volts to the dark green wire. That dark green wire goes directly to the compressor. So that compressor, the clutch will not engage if the pressure on that switch is not within the recommended range. Y'all follow me? So that's the dark wire. The dark green wire goes directly to the compressor. I got it backwards right now. The light green wire is all-time hot. That wire is the high RPM or high idle, however you want to call it. That's the trigger wire that's going to tell the car that the AC is on. I need to bump up the idle. And in my case, since I'm using the LS computer, the stock computer, it should also trigger my fan or fans. So let me order this real quick. So I took lunch break to, what is this thing at? I don't even know which one it is. Oh, it's right there. You ready?
Give me one moment.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so, boy, when did food prices go up? Goodness, boy. $26 for 2 combos from Churches, y'all. For me and my daughter. For lunch. But we gonna be on the budget for dinner. She don't know it yet. Hold on, let me turn this brightness down. All right, I'm gonna title this video, I hope I'm not confusing y'all. So we got the green wire situated, right? Dark green wire, 2 compressor with the black wire for the 2-prong connector on the compressor if you run R4 like me. The light green wire is gonna go to your high idle or AC recognition, in my case with the LS swap. Now when I ordered my computer and harness, I had it programmed and pinned specifically for AC. So if you're running a aftermarket harness, or if you're doing a repin on a harness, I can't help you there because mine is already set up. I have a wire specifically labeled for air conditioning recognition, and it says 12 volts with AC on. So that's going to be my light green wire, because that wire gets 12 volts as soon as you turn the AC on. So that's going to tell the LS computer that, hey, the air conditioning is on, let's bump up the RPMs, and at the same time, if it works the way I think it's supposed to work, it should kick on the fans. And I touched on that earlier, but what I mean by that is, because my computer also controls the fan, the temperature. So at 160, my first fan cuts on, and the second fan cuts on at like 170 or something like that. So let's just say I start the car and I turn the AC on immediately, and the temperature is not up. That should trigger the fans to come on because I'm turning the AC on. That's what I'm trying to explain as far as that AC recognition wire. Idle should bump up, fans should kick on. That should keep everything running nice and cool. So what I'm gonna do today, like I say, if I can get the garage warm enough to go out there this evening when I get off work, I'll go out there and I'll wire it up. I'll jump because I'm not gonna plug the compressor up, only because I don't want it to come on, because there's oil in it, but there's no refrigerant in it, so I don't want to ruin it. But I'll take that plug and I'll show you that there's no continuity, or there's no voltage going through that dark green wire, and then I'm gonna jump from the light green to the dark green, obviously, and that'll send power to that wire. Now, so that's the green wire. So we straight on that. The red wire from the factory on that schematic, it said to the starter it said to starter, and then it said it had a fusible link. That's what it said. It said to starter via fusible link or something like that. So I thought that red wire was supposed to get switched ignition, when if it's going straight to the starter, that means it's constant power. Same thing as the bulkhead wires. Those 2 red wires that came from the bulkhead, those wires also have fusible links, and they went straight to the starter. Now, GM has changed since then. You don't have to run it to the starter. It basically just needs constant power. So I didn't run those 2 red wires to the starter, not solenoid, but to the starter lug, the large lug, simply because I got long tube headers. There's enough stuff down there already. And then if you know, I did put fusible links on mine, but I didn't run it down to the starter, because if you run them to the starter with fusible links and you got long tube headers like me, changing my starter was a task. So if those fusible links blow, you got to get down there and, you know, get that starter. Man, it's too tight. So I ran them to a distribution block on the driver's side in the fender, or in the front of the inner fender, where I got all my fan relays and fuses there. So I'm gonna take that red wire coming off the AC box, since it's already on the passenger side. I'm just gonna run it straight to the battery. Now you can use a fusible link. Most of y'all are probably gonna use a fuse. I'm just gonna use a fusible link because I think I have some already. So how the fusible link works is, whatever size that wire is, I believe you're supposed to go 1 or I think it's 2 sizes down. That's how it works. So I think that wire, I want to say it's a 12 gauge wire, which would make that about a 30 amp draw, maybe a 20, at max 30, maybe 20. So if you put a fusible link on there, a 12 gauge, so that'd be what, 10, 8, so it'll be an 8 gauge fusible link. You can probably do a 10 gauge fusible link, but as long as it's smaller than the actual wire that you're fusing, that's how that works. So like I said, I hope I ain't confused some of y'all. I've been going back and forth with a couple of y'all, and like I say, doing my research at the same time. I just want my AC to work properly. I don't want to overpressure the system. I don't want to blow a line. I don't want to, because I'm getting ready to replace the heater core and the evaporator core. So I'm finna do all that work, and I don't want to blow nothing up by having it wired wrong and having the compressor constantly running when it shouldn't be running. If the pressure switch is telling it shouldn't run, but if I got the wires crossed, it's not going to recognize that. So I just want to jump on here real quick and put that information out there. So like I say, don't do as I do as I, what does it say? Don't do as I do as I say. I don't know. Whatever the saying is. I'm trying to get it right before I actually show y'all. So if you're following me on this build, just follow me until I get it right. Okay? So once I get it right and I got cold air blowing, I got the heat squared away. The heat's working fine. I got all the actuators working. I got the vacuum lines hooked up, so all my doors move. The vents, the defrost, the floor, all that. So now we just got to get the wiring hooked up properly, so that when I turn that AC on, everything works as it's supposed to. The fans will kick on, the pressure switch will tell it when to shut off if it gets overpressured. The LS computer will know that it's running, because on my scan tool, I can plug my scan tool up and go into my information, and I can actually see that the AC is switched on or not. So I'm gonna do that at the same time. I'll do a screen recording so I can show y'all, because I use that same function to test and see if my clutch lock was working. So when I step on the brake, you can see it switch to from on to off. So I know I got that hooked up properly. So I'll do the same thing with the AC. I'll hook up my scan tool, go to the information screen where I can see my vitals, and it'll tell me when the AC, if it's on or not. If I got it hooked up right, it should be. So thank y'all so much for your support, and hang in there with your boy, man. We're gonna get it figured out. But like I said, I just wanted to jump on here and let y'all know that I'm not trying to put out misinformation. I've been getting information from all different angles, but I'm trying to get it right. So once I get it right, I'm gonna let you know. So thank you for rocking with your boy. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop the next video. If it's not too cold this evening, hopefully I can get it recorded tonight. And check me out on Instagram at PennyLS1. And until next time, PennyLS1, I'll let your boy.